want right there. Awesome. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day in the life, and I hope that this camera is in focus. I can't really tell from here, but I'd say it'll do for the purposes of today's video. It's kind of rainy outside, so I wanted to talk today about some finds that my father and I made earlier in the week. And they had raised a lot of questions in the channel, and they had raised a lot of questions with my father and I, which is kind of why I didn't really make any statement about the finds in the video. We were still sort of unsure and undecided about what we had found, in fact. And to tell the story, I have to go back kind of to the beginning of the story. The story began when I had researched a site and called my dad and told him about the site. It was much closer to his house than to mine. And I think he kind of cataloged it back in his mind. And it turned out that his friend Jim had also been thinking about the site. So they went out investigating, and during that day they found what they believed to be several plates, militia plates. And what they were finding was very much like what we see here in front of me. There were these rectangles and ovals of sheet brass, and they all had this rim around the edge. And some of them had iron attachment points, much like this little oval here has. So they thought that they had stumbled into a bunch of early militia plates. Now, the site that I researched, I can't tell you exactly where it is because that would give it away, but I can tell you that it is most definitely a military type installation. And so we had every reason to believe that these were in fact plates. So I drove down and hunted with Dad, as you saw in the video from a few days ago, and we turned up several more of these. But as we were turning these up, questions started to arise in our mind as to what they were. First of all, there were several different sizes and shapes of these plates. There was no real regularity to the shape of these. This one here is very much the size and shape of a waist belt plate from the American Civil War, while this one is much larger, and our initial thought was possibly these were cross belt plates or maybe hat plates from large shako hats. And another thing started to arise that became a little bit questionable, and that was some very odd shapes coming out of the ground. This oval, for instance, is a little bit irregular here around the side, but all of them had this rim around the edge, and all of them seemed to have little attachment points, little circles where possibly some pins had been driven through or where there were some iron attachment points. So we were getting some questions in our mind, and then I dug a very large one. And this is large enough, this is about the size of a Bible. And I was thinking, did we have the Jolly Green Giant belt plate here? What did we have? So we were not sure what we had. We came home and began to do some more research on the location. And it turns out that our good friend Bob Milburn was the one who finally put the pieces of the puzzle together when he determined that there had also been a printing press at this location. And so then all of the pieces sort of came together, and we realized that what we had here were in fact printing plates from that printing press. It was very easy for us to imagine that these were in fact plates, and in fact several people that I respect in the community and that I hope have some respect for me in the community also thought that these might be plates. And it was very humbling for us to realize that these were not plates. In our minds, we wanted these to be plates so bad, and we wanted to believe that these were plates so bad that all the way up to the end, even when we left the field that day, we thought maybe these had been on the sides of drums or something like that. The last thing in our mind was that these were anything but plates because they look so very much like the sheet brass plates that we are familiar with in Civil War collecting and pre and post Civil War collecting, that our minds wanted to believe that that's what they were, even when there were clues telling us that they might not be. So I wanted to share that with you today and kind of put into perspective that we're always learning throughout the process of this hobby, and even though it may have been a disappointment that we did not dig up a pile of plates that day, it in fact was a great day in the life. I got to be out with my dad for the day, and these will have a place in my collection for sure. They mean something to me because I learned a lesson that day about what I know and what I thought I know, and about how important it is to recover these pieces of history, to put things in perspective, and to tell an accurate story of what happened. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this day in the life. I hope that you're not disappointed with these finds, because I am not disappointed with these finds, even though I sure do hope to find my pile of plates one day. Great day in the life. See you tomorrow.